So anyway, I head out to the supermarket and get some groceries.
I'm headed downtown, cruising through the alley, tiptoeing in the street like ballet. Pulled up, moped to the valet. Yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, no, no.
Hey guys, what's up? This is another Wuhloss vlog. In this one, I'm talking a little bit about quarantine. For those of you following my social media, you will know that my quarantine is now over and life is going back to normal. So let me talk a little bit about quarantine in Shanghai, or what I would like to call quarantine the sequel. So I arrived back in Shanghai on the 12th of March. On the 13th of March at 9 o'clock, I was greeted at the door by a few people. My landlord, a doctor, 2 guards, and somebody from property management of the community. Now again, I live in a high-rise community. There are 20 buildings in this neighborhood. Picture your street, and at the end of the street, there is a guard hut with one of those arms that allows traffic to come in and out. And then at the other end of the street, there's another arm. So basically, that is the community I live in. So I was given a whole set of documentation to fill out, and a letter of commitment, and a notice, and all kind of things. And it basically talked about what is expected of me on this quarantine. So this is what was happening in this quarantine. Number 1, I cannot leave my apartment. Furthermore, my apartment was sealed. It was sealed with paper. I was told if they turn up and the paper is torn, there was going to be a severe penalty. Did they want to find out what the penalty was? No. So I stayed in my apartment. Additionally, another paper was put up on my door saying that the person in this apartment is in quarantine until March the 26th. So the people on my floor knew what was going on. Now, the seal on the door was only removed for 5 reasons. At 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., when the doctor came to check my temperature. At 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. where the courier would bring any deliveries that I had sent to me if I ordered stuff online. And at 1 p.m. when the guy came to collect my garbage, because again, I could not leave my apartment. So I signed all those papers and everything. And well, with one thing, I had to get groceries. Now, I left Barbados with some pasta, some tuna, some condiments to last me at least the first week or so, but I really needed groceries. I needed fruits and I needed vegetables and stuff like that. And my landlord is such a gem. My landlord decided that, I mean, he didn't have to, but my landlord decided that he would go and get my groceries for me. So I gave him a list and he went and got my groceries for me. And obviously I paid him back. But again, my landlord is such a gem that not only was he willing to make sure that I was as comfortable as I could be, and he was running point between me and the people in property management so that they knew when I was coming in and everything, because he had fully informed them that I was arriving, which flight I was arriving on, and blah blah blah. So he was constantly communicating with them. Not only was he doing that, but then he told me, because I was stuck in Barbados in February and I could not get back, because I was supposed to be back in Shanghai in February, but he told me that because for all of February I was not in the apartment, that I would not have to pay rent for February. I mean, goodness gracious, that is it. So I thought that was absolutely spectacular, really, really good. So I had to sign all the paperwork and everything, and they made sure that I understood. I had to set all kind of information on this paperwork, passport number, flight, extensive amount of information. So then the landlord and some of the officials came back. Oh, and I was supposed to also mention, everybody was wearing hazmat suits. It's sort of unnerving, but I got used to it after a while. That every time somebody turned up at the door, they're wearing a hazmat suit, protective eyewear, and a mask. The only person that wasn't wearing a hazmat suit was the landlord and the 2 guards. So anyhow, when the landlord came back with my groceries, he came back, he dropped them off, and they sealed it. In that entire span, it's only once that the doctor turned up late, and she turned up like literally 6 minutes late. And at about 8:45, she messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm going to be late." And the woman was like 6 minutes late. And you know what the interesting thing about the doctor was? Her name is Shen Jaja. And it was really funny because every time she came to me and I remembered her name, I would go, but she was nice. She would come. She had the forehead thermometer. She would take my temperature, show me. She said, "Oh, it's normal." She would ask, "Any discomfort?" I would say no, and then she would leave. And then she said, "Okay, see you this evening or see you tomorrow." However, that's the end of that. The other thing is that they gave me a number in case of emergencies. So I had a number that, like, for example, if God forbid I had an asthma attack or a heart attack or fell down in the apartment and broke something or accidentally cut myself, like when I accidentally slashed my hand at Christmas opening a box. Obviously, again, I can't open the door because it would tear the ceiling. I would be in trouble. I had a number, and this was a special number that apparently that they respond really quickly because they know that is an emergency number for people in quarantine. So if they're calling this number, something is really bad, something is really wrong. And to be honest, the first couple of days are rough, but honestly, the weeks went by really quickly. So I then just said that quarantine is over. And I can tell you, at the end of quarantine, there was a little bit of deja vu. Getting off the elevator, heading outside for the first time in 2 weeks. Press the door, head outside, and I'm outside my building. Quarantine is over! I am now a free man. Quarantine is over. 14 days of being holed up. And I can now walk in the road. I can now walk in the road. I'm outside the property lines. Quarantine is over! Yeah, it's a little familiar. So at the end of quarantine, everybody turned back up at the apartment in hazmat suits. The doctor checked my temperature. She said, "Oh yes, it's normal." So then they gave me a paper to sign, a release paper. And then that was it. The doctor said goodbye and she left, and that was the end of that. So then the landlord stayed. My landlord, Johnny, should have said that earlier. His name is Johnny, but his English name is Johnny. His Chinese name is Johnny, and he helped me set up my health code. Now, as I mentioned in my previous vlog, I did have one when I got off the plane, but that was a temporary fix for people coming into Shanghai. But when you're living in Shanghai, there's another health code that you have to have. And this is the one that you have to have if you're entering a public space. So green is for people that are healthy. Yellow is for people that are in observation. They would have come in contact with somebody that has COVID-19. And red is for people that in quarantine, we all have COVID-19. And mine is green. So once all the papers were signed and everything, and the people from the property management were happy, but then I had to go somewhere. Then Johnny had to go somewhere, and then I had to meet him. But again, because Johnny is such a tremendous landlord, he decided to take me to the supermarket on his scooter. And here's what happened. Alright, so now I got a meeting up with my landlord. We can go to the supermarket. I just had to go and get this. This is a card. I can't get in and out of the community without it. Just to prove that I have been cleared by the doctor. So yeah, good times. So anyway, I head out to the supermarket and get some groceries.
I'm headed downtown, cruising through the alley, tiptoeing in the street like ballet. Pulled up, moped to the valet. White walls on the wheels like mayonnaise. Dope, my crew is ill, and all we need is 2 good wins. Got gas in the tank, cash in the bank, and a bad little mama with arrows in my face. I'm a
in the supermarket. Supermarket is half full of people. Everybody masked up and everything. I'm the only person wearing goggles, so but hey, I'm still really paranoid about this whole thing. Alright guys, just came from the supermarket for the first time here with my landlord Johnny. Yeah, now heading back home. Alright, peace. Alright, so got my stuff. Because I went on my landlord's scooter, I just got enough that could fit into a basket. And let me show you the rigmarole is gonna go through now in order to go inside. So I have to put my stuff at the door. First things first, take off all the clothes. Put them straight in the washing machine. Wash them, and then shower, everything head to toe, and then come back out. So take the stuff from by the door, wipe them off, put them on the table, and then put them with the whole set of stuff you got, safety first. So yeah, as I said, the time in quarantine went fast, and I had all these massive plans. I was going to do all these things, and honestly, I prepped for class, I taught classes, I recorded some videos, I edited my vlog, and I watched Modern Family. That's basically what I do for the entire. Oh, and I slept. Important. And I also exercised. So now, quarantine over, I still am moving around a lot, which really killed me today, especially because outside was such a nice bright sunny day, and today was one of my days off. And normally Tuesday is my tourist day. That's the day that I go out and do something touristy. I will go on the metro and just get off at a random stop and just wander around for like 2 hours. And unfortunately, I can't do that right now, but it is what it is. I keep wondering what's the new normal. Like, a bunch of people fly planes into buildings in 2001, and a couple of guys try to blow up planes with bombs, constructing their shoes. And because of that, I just gotta take off my shoes whenever I want to catch a plane, and take off my belt. And because of these guys, I now can't carry anything more than 150 milliliters into a plane in a Ziploc bag. So you're wondering what's the new normal going to be after this coronavirus thing, but nobody knows what the future holds. Only God knows what's going to happen next, and I just hope that we can come out on the other side of this. We are life and our health intact. But I honestly don't see things really getting back to normal until around about September, October, to be very honest, especially in the United States. Now, again, I'm not an expert, I just speculate. I saw an article about an area in Texas where the exercise paths are now overcrowded with people exercising. And it's like, where were these people before lockdown? Like, before lockdown, you didn't really have problems with crowds on the exercise path. Now, the authorities telling people stay indoors, suddenly everybody want to exercise. Human beings really make me smile. Human beings will complain and moan, oh, work is so hard, I wish I could just stay home. The authorities will say, okay, there's a pandemic, stay home. Oh, I want to go outside. I don't get it. Listen, when this thing first started in China, right, you had households, every household was given a card, right? Household was given a card. And this card, it was like a hall pass in hall pass like in America. You could only leave your house 3 times a week for 2 things, for essentials, for groceries or medication, or to go to the hospital if you have to. And this is per house, a card per household. This isn't a card per person per household. So only one person from this household could leave the house only 3 times a week to get essentials. That's the only way you could leave home. And if you violate that, stiff penalties. Then this whole thing, oh, but I got a dog to walk. Alright, you got a dog to walk. You're walking the dog 3 days a week. But you better be walking the dog while you're on the way to the pharmacy to get heart medication for your grandmother. And then walking the dog back home. Walking the dog. Oh, I got exercise. Exercise on the front porch. Or do some planks. Or do some jumping jacks. And one thing that I realized about this whole thing is sometimes basic personal freedoms gotta be sacrificed temporarily for the long-term benefit of society. And unfortunately, a lot of Western countries don't get that. So that's why places like Vietnam and South Korea and China, were able to contain the thing as much, because when the government tell Chinese stay home, they may stop home. Isn't it easier than that? But anyway, yeah, so that's it for me. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that like button, click that subscribe button, drop some comments below. Let me talk about this thing, talk about things you notice, things that you use to get through your time, how you spending lockdown period, right? So let me get through this thing together. Right, so until next time, guys, peace, here grease, and toilet paper.